Hi, my name's Bruno Brandon. I help people exit out of their businesses, either immediately in the form of matching you with the best business broker, or if you want better results, implementing an exit strategy. Now, previously in a video titled Let's Talk Exit Strategy, I talked about how you can go from what the market values your business to actually what you want. And I introduced this exit strategy as this link between the two. And I didn't give you much substance about what it is. And you could easily interpret that I was just drawing this fictitious rainbow line to your pot of gold. So today, what I'm going to do is dig a bit deeper in regard to what is an exit strategy, put some numbers and formulas behind it so that you can actually prove that it's worth your attention, your time, and your investment. So just like in previous videos, we've got profit times multiplier equals value or business value. Now, yes, this is a very simplistic formula to be working out a business value. Even profit is a very general term. But our mission in this video is not to dig deep into valuing a business. It's to be gathering some numbers, so giving you an idea of using those numbers, how effective an exit strategy can be. So I've chosen a business that makes a profit of $300,000 in an industry where the multiplier is 1 to 2. So if that business was to sell, it would sell from anywhere from 300K to 600K. Make sense? Okay, let's move on. Okay, from the previous diagram, we had a business that was, if it was sold today, it would sell from anywhere from 300 to 600K. But we're going to introduce an exit strategy to help you achieve your goal of the money that you actually want. And part of how we do that is we look at the business areas, including things like systems, sales and marketing, HR, accounts, and a few more. So we would get a professional in those particular areas to throw their eyes over your business in that particular area, give you some consulting, some advice, some assistance in tidying up those areas. So systems, you might look at making sure that the owner of the business or indeed any employee is not critical to the day-to-day running of that particular business. And anything that is done on a repetitive basis is automated. Making sure that you've got an effective marketing strategy in place and that sales are increasing on a year-by-year basis exponentially. HR, making sure that you've got the right amount of people doing the right things. And of course, making sure your accounts is running smoothly. Now imagine this. If you spent the next 2 to 3 years with a goal to drive up your profit so that you get an effective result for your exit strategy, so you personally are running your business to increase your profit. But on top of that, you're getting help from experts within their field. So they're helping you increase sales and drive down costs, which again, obviously, help with profit. Now, based on that, a 2 to 3 year strategy, how much do you think that you could increase your profit by from a baseline of 300K? So how much can you increase your profit if you're driving your business in the next 2 to 3 years? Any idea? Well, I'm going to be very conservative. I'm going to suggest to you that you would increase, if you did everything that I said and engaged the experts, you would get at least an extra 50K, in my view. In fact, I think that's pretty small. But so keep that in mind for now, and we'll come back to it shortly. Next up, we're going to talk about some drivers in your business. So we would be working on things like barrier to entry, risk profile, buyer demand, concentrations, and a few others. Now, these are not things that affect the profit, but they certainly do make your business more attractive to potential buyers and hence can drive up the multiplier. Now, barrier to entry is what it says. Say if your industry or your business has a low barrier to entry, meaning that it's very easily to get into your type of business. Ideally, what we would want to be doing is stacking on a couple more layers so that the barrier to entry, someone trying to get into doing what you do, is more difficult. Risk profile. Now, there's a risk profile on your industry, also a risk profile on your business. Now, the risk profile on your industry is something that you probably cannot affect, but what you could do is you could potentially also add yourself into, or your business operating in another industry. And the risk profile on your business, obviously we want to be reducing that risk to make your business more attractive to those potential buyers that I'm talking about. Buyer demand. During the course of this entire exit strategy, you would be wanting to be making sure at the end of it, we've got a pool of potential buyers out there to create some competitive tension when the time comes to be selling your business. And concentrations, obviously reducing concentrations in things like customers, employees, and even locations. So over the course of a 2 to 3 year period in the exit strategy, you'd be working on things like these. Obviously increase the barrier to entry, reduce the risks, get more buyer demand, and reduce concentrations. Now again, I'm going to be very conservative, and if you actually worked on all of these, let's just assume that you could actually bring in a 0.5% increase in your multiplier. So this particular example, I said that the industry was a multiplier of 1 to 2. Over the last 2 or 3 years, we work on these drivers and we increase that multiplier by 0.5%. So now it sits at 1.5 to 2.5. So remember these details. We've increased the multiplier to 1.5 to 2.5, and we've also increased the profit by $50,000. To summarize, we now have a profit of $350,000 times a multiplier of 1.5 to 2.5 equaling 525k to 875k, up from the original 300 to 600k, all by introducing an exit strategy which ticked off and looked after some areas of the business and also drivers. And it was done on very conservative changing numbers like $50,000 and 0.5%. But I do have a template, or you could do up your own, which actually allows you to drop in your own numbers. So your business might have a different profit, and you might be in an industry where the multiplier is different too. And I'll give you an idea of how this can work. So let's say that we're still in that particular business we talked about, but instead of increasing the business by $50,000, we actually increased it by $100,000. So now, with the professional services that we introduced, the profit is $400K. And the multiplier, still 2, but now we're making, on the sale of the business, $800K. But if you kept on going and also worked on the drivers of the business, and instead of increasing it by 0.5%, you did 1%, so now the actual multiplier would be 3 times that original 400, and your value of your business is now 1,200,000. So you can see that implementing an exit strategy, an effective exit strategy, can have an exponential result on your end value of your business. I hope that helps. Let me know if you want this template and I can flick it out to you.